Hey everybody, coffee. We haven't run out yet. Anyway, last video of the week, it being Friday. There were three things that I wanted to get into regarding stick work. Seeing as we've been continuing on the hanging CQC bag, we'll kind of keep that avenue for today. Leads and preferred leads. We always hear that your weapon hand should be in front and that same side leg in front as well. Or people talking about their preferred method or which one they're best at. And the thing is, for those of us, and I know there are a lot out there who put in a lot of hours of fighting or sparring, that is dependent on the fight or the combat. It's very momentary. Based on evasion and body movement and footwork and pressure and either by you or by the other person. By the situation that you're in, the space with which you have to maneuver around, that is very situationally dependent. So those who have spent a lifetime perfecting technique and power from lead side forward, it could be disadvantageous for you under the gun. Whether you're, there'll be times where your weapon hand forward, weapon hand back with live hand forward, squared, depending on whether you're hollowing out or whatever the case may be. Those things are very situational. You simply have to learn to distribute power from a number of different awkward and unconventional positions. That's the truth. Different points of impact is the second thing I wanted to get into. We always do the top third of the stick for the power shots, and that's where the majority of the power is. And then you'll see a lot of different styles doing from the puño. I want to add three to that I very rarely see practiced. One is the body, this part here. We don't see it as being anything worth value or it's a missed shot. But the heavier and longer the weapon, the greater the chance of even an overfire or an overextension has of hitting with immense power. So you have the body of the stick here. So let's say I overextend past the target, right? You can feel how heavy that impact is and how it reverberates around the terrace here. So, right? Yeah, you're closer range, but this on a long enough tool and a heavy enough tool can be a very valuable point of contact. The second is tip ripping. That's one of the things that I learned over the years from a couple of instructors that I've had is the perpendicular meeting of those two avenues here, vertical and horizontal on the tip of the stick, can be used for cutting. It can cut skin, it can rip clothing. It takes a little bit to get efficient at that, so I'm not actually blowing into the target and hitting the target. I'm actually using that tip to cut that target. So you're seeing it's not rocking that much because I'm not hitting it with force. I'm actually, as you can see here, cutting the material on that target. Right? Those are angry shots that are coming in, but they're not impactful. They're cutting and tearing. We call those tip ripping shots. The third thing that I want to get into is using the stick as a fist load. We're going to be utilizing the live hand as the third thing here, but getting used to hitting things with that stick hand, other than in a puño form, can have a lot of value. But we so very rarely practice it, right? The uppercut, digging, right cross, right? You've got the hook. Right, I can even hit it with the reverse puño as kind of a forearm or flat of the hand shot. So you have diversity. That's just another thing of getting to know the tools that you play with and understanding how you can utilize them maximally in the most efficient and maximized way possible. And the third thing I want to get into is live hand. We always give homage and lip service to the live hand, but we very rarely see it incorporated under sparring or fighting conditions. If you've seen the videos, for those of you who've seen the videos that I've been in where I've been fighting or sparring somebody else or doing resistance training, my life hand is very active, parrying, redirecting, passing, jamming, grabbing when I see a point of entry that I can enter safely or close safely, hitting and grabbing the other person's weapon hand as well after a meeting or a clash. So I mean, it's active, striking as well. I mean, you can incorporate on the bag here basic boxing for that, right? The jab at this distance here can be pretty efficient as a setup. As a distance gauge, right? I can continue to find where that range is, right? As a jamming tool where I can stop and hit, right? As a passing tool where I can hit on the way through, right? There you're striking from a variety of those different positions that aren't lead preference. I can do the elbow shield pass and let it graze past as I hit or thrust or puño or whatever the case may be. My recommendation is if you're going to have one of these hanging pendulum bags, incorporate it all slowly. So, right, if I'm doing my motion, I want it as dynamic as possible to incorporate that footwork that we were talking about, right? The fade back, the duck, the bob and weave, right? The pivot step, circling, right? So you have a number of things that you can add into one dynamic session. So I can be moving here, puño, thrust, fade, right? Hook, thrust, hit, uppercut, right? Thrust, right? Cross with a fist load, right? Hip ripping, body, lateral thrust, right? Left hook. I switch stances. So now with my weapon hand lead, I have my cross in the rear. So if I'm going from here, that can be a subtle switch that you can do, right? You see the power coming. Tip, right? Tip, thrust, strike, jab to create distance. Fade, you don't have to hit on every one. I missed, elbow, right? Jab, jab, hit, hook, right? Cross with a fist load. I can switch stances here, right? Hook, thrust, hit, 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 hook. So you get the idea, right? Thrust, this, push, jab, hit, jab, hit, jab, double, right? Meet, heavy shot, thrust, hook, hit, hit, jab to keep distance, jab, jab, keep distance, hit as I move, duck, duck, thrust from under, right? Hook, switch stance. Now I can slow that motion with the stick too, as it's coming in, as my push or my jam, right? Boom. So you have a number of tools with which to work with in a dynamic setting. So just some points that people can incorporate into their own personal training if they want. As per usual, if you have any questions, just ask. Thanks for tuning in.